Viktor Gyökeres became exactly what the Premier League was afraid of. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. There are still plenty of questions around Arsenal. The title race.
Ryder spills it, and it's off the post!
The pressure, the run-in, the ghosts of previous seasons.
Got to make a challenge.
But one thing is crystal clear right now. Viktor Gyökeres is in the best form of his Arsenal career, and that changes everything. In 2026, there isn't a more informed striker in the Premier League than the Swedish giant. 2 goals against Spurs, clinical, ruthless, proper derby presence. And those goals now mean he has more Premier League goals than any other Arsenal player this season across all competitions. 5 goals in his last 5 league matches, 7 in his last 12 in all competitions. And it's not just tap-ins. His overall game has deserved this explosion. The movement, the hold-up play, the physical dominance. Now the goals are catching up with the performances. He's already Arsenal's top scorer in the Premier League with 10 goals. And the scary part, it feels like he's just getting started. If Gyökeres maintains this consistency, he becomes the most dangerous weapon in Arsenal's title push. Premier League.
Zubimendi first time, and the header!
Champions League. FA Cup. Carabao Cup. He's built for big moments. As Mikel Arteta himself said, Gyökeres is the difference in this Arsenal side.
Well, I think he deserved it because everything that we were seeing in terms of what he was bringing to the team and how much he was helping the team in many areas, apart from scoring goals in the last few weeks, there was no debate about that. It was about keeping that belief on himself, that emotional state that he can enjoy and play.
Gyökeres had his best game for Arsenal since joining the club with that 2-goal performance against Tottenham. And it wasn't just about the goals, it was about total involvement. At the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he registered 42 touches. That's the most he's had in a single match for Arsenal, comfortably surpassing the 32 he managed against Newcastle earlier in the season. He wasn't just present, he was everywhere. And most importantly, those touches led to real impact. From the start, he caused chaos. Early in the match, he drifted into the left channel to destabilise Spurs' defensive structure. That movement opened central lanes for his teammates and helped Arsenal establish control. Within minutes, he nearly gave the Gunners the lead, firing wide from the left after being given far too much space by Radu Dragusin. That was a warning shot, because just after the restart, he punished them. Given space again at the edge of the box, he drove forward and fired home to put Arsenal 2-1 ahead. Later in the second half, a quick 1-2 created the opening for Arsenal's 3rd goal. Gyökeres returned to that same dangerous zone and finished again, sealing a magnificent individual display. Right now, Gyökeres has Premier League defenders genuinely worried. No other striker attracts attention like he does. Tracking data this season shows that when he's available for a pass, he is given less space than any other forward in the league. That tells you everything. Defenders stick to him, double up on him, collapse around him, which means he can't always spin away into space, so instead he adapts. He holds the ball up, he absorbs contact, he links play. And here's another stat. Gyökeres has held the ball up more times than any other Premier League player this season. He doesn't just score, he bends defensive systems around him.
Yeah, I think we do that a few times in training, I think, and then obviously I watch his goals against these last games, so yeah, try to replicate it a little bit, and yeah, it works. So
it's been a proper rollercoaster for Viktor Gyökeres in an Arsenal shirt.
Is obviously an issue, especially given Gyökeres was signed as a more traditional number 9, not someone necessarily to kind of for his pressing game or for other elements. I think another issue with him, especially if we're comparing him to kind of classic number 9s in that way, is that there's maybe been some frustration with Arsenal.
He burst onto the scene with a brace in just his 2nd game for the club against Leeds. Then followed it up with a goal against Nottingham Forest. It looked like the perfect beginning, but then came a quiet spell. The performances dipped, the goals slowed down, doubts started creeping in. In November, he looked electric for 45 minutes at the Turf Moor, scoring and dominating the game, only for a hamstring injury to kill his momentum just as he was building rhythm. Brutal timing. When he returned, it didn't get easier. Just 1 goal in 10 appearances, a penalty against Everton.
The lead here at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Viktor Gyökeres steps up.
Questions were being asked. Was he fitting the system? Was he clinical enough? Was he worth the hype?
Now the one at the end, you would say, if Gyökeres is on the pitch, maybe he's in that area, which is the corridor of uncertainty. That's
Rice
the
put a great
favourite
one in the first half. And was that Rice? Was it Rice put a great one in the first time again?
Yeah.
But we're sitting there going, where's your striker?
Yeah, where's the striker?
Yeah, the one with the left foot from
For
that
me,
side.
with strikers and with midfielders and wingers, the key is understanding your teammates and knowing timing. That's the best thing, I'm sure, for you and for you during your careers. Your strikers and your wingers will talk to you, go, listen, I want it here. When that happens, I'm going to make that run. Those are the conversations you have to have. If you don't have those, you're not going to get chances. It's just not going to happen.
But now he's on the best run of his Arsenal career. It all started on January 14th with that massive performance against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, a goal and an assist.
His left foot. White's delivery, and it will fall for Gyökeres.
Confidence restored. Then came the Champions League, January 20th. A screamer against Inter Milan. Big stage, big statement.
Toughest jobs in the team, and you're judged on goals. And he was a big money signing. We know how well he did when he was playing for Coventry at a lower level. And he's obviously gone off and made his name then again.
Sporting was brilliant.
Sporting in Portugal. He's a good player. They could be a terrific player. And I think the biggest advantage for Arsenal is the amount of attention he gets. And it leaves that space for your Sakas.
Next, another goal and an assist against Kairat in Europe. And that's when something clicked. The Premier League run followed. Goal against Leeds on January 31st. Then a brace in the 3-0 win over Sunderland, taking him to 6 goals in 8 matches at that point.
And Martinelli's bearing down on goal to wrap it up for Arsenal. He finds Viktor.
And then the derby double against Tottenham. This is the man who shook Europe last season. The striker who exposed Guardiola and tore Manchester City apart. The forward who scored 54 goals in 52 matches before arriving in England. He's put the mask back on, and he's reminding everyone exactly what kind of striker he is. Viktor Gjökeres is the final piece, and maybe the most important one in Arsenal's entire puzzle. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. For all of Mikel Arteta's tactical sophistication and Arsenal's statistical dominance in the 2024-2025 Premier League season, their biggest and ultimately fatal flaw was painfully clear. They could not consistently break down deep, compact, low-block defences. What we witnessed was sterile domination. Arsenal controlled the ball. They suffocated opponents territorially. They stacked up passes, but far too often they walked away with frustration instead of points. The numbers don't lie. Arsenal recorded their lowest win percentage under Arteta in the last 4 seasons, including 2021-2022, when they finished 5th and missed out on Champions League football. Last season, they won just 20 league matches. That's a 50% win rate. For a title contender, that's not good enough. Out of the 18 matches they failed to win, 10 of them, 55%, came against teams that sat deep and blocked space in the final third. In those games, Arsenal averaged over 60% possession. The results? 8 draws, 2 defeats. Now look at the average numbers from those matches. They almost read like satire. Average possession? 68%. Passes completed? 564 per game. Shots? 14.3 per match. Expected goals? 1.6 per match. Actual goals scored? Just 10 total, roughly 1 per game. Goals conceded? 11. Expected goals conversion rate? 0.63, meaning they underperform their XG by more than a third. It's domination without incision. Nearly half of Arsenal's attacking sequences originated from the same combination. Ødegaard and Saka rotating down the right flank. Opponents figured it out. They overloaded that side, cut off passing lanes, forced Arsenal to recycle the ball left. And on the left, problems. Martinelli's inconsistent form, Calafiori's absence. That flank became a graveyard for possession rather than a source of penetration. The ball moved there, but danger didn't. Up front, Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz are tactically intelligent and selfless in movement, but neither consistently occupied the 6-yard box. Both prefer to drift wide or drop deep. That left the penalty area empty when Saka, Rice or Timber delivered cutbacks. Arsenal finished the season with just 18 touches inside the 6-yard box from their striker. That's fewer than several mid-table forwards. The vertical, one-touch, high-speed Arsenal that once terrified teams became methodical and slow around the box. Without a fully fit Calafiori inverting to create central overloads, Rice was isolated in build-up. The ball moved side to side. Defences reset. Attacks died. That's exactly why Gyökeres changes everything. Because he doesn't drift. He occupies. He pins. He attacks the 6-yard box like it's personal. Gyökeres was signed for goals, yes, but he was also signed to create space for the players behind him. And despite the personal struggles and adaptation period he had to face earlier in the season, that idea has proven to be absolutely correct. With Gyökeres starting, Arsenal have an 84% win rate, and concede fewer goals. Interestingly, the raw stats show Arsenal sometimes score more when he doesn't start, but they also concede more. That tells you something important. His work rate, his pressing, his defensive contribution, his ability to pin centre-backs, all of that stabilises the team, and tactically, he gives Arteta so much more. A team fighting for the Premier League title cannot depend on so few decisive goals, especially when Arsenal dropped 21 points from winning positions and missed clear chances throughout the season. Havertz's inconsistency, including that glaring miss against Manchester City, became symbolic of Arsenal's lack of ruthlessness in key moments. Gyökeres is different. His instinctive positioning, his speed of decision-making, and his ability to find space inside the box represent a major upgrade. While Havertz tends to drift wide and offers less clinical finishing, Gyökeres posts higher expected goals per 90 and more goals per shot. That's not just volume, that's precision. His relentless runs into the channels and his ability to shoot quickly create constant chaos for defences. And in tight matches, that's everything. The first major gain Arteta made with Gyökeres is elite chance conversion.
What he has done very well in recent weeks is he comes into this deeper position where they almost, when Arsenal drop into their 4-4-2 block shape, he comes into this deeper position and he's finding space here. So I've intentionally left that wide. What he's doing is he's going into there early and then they're playing it in there early. So in the middle third of the field, he's really improved his running and his transitional play. The problem is that he's not going at players 1v1 then, and he doesn't have that outright pace to beat some of these defenders 1v1. In duels, he's doing all right. He's got better. He's being more physical. But again, if Arsenal are going to get the best out of him, it's not just about is he going to get the best out of himself. If Arsenal are going to get the best out of him, they've got to give him early ball, because he's not the sort of player who's going to be giving it the little movements here around the box, the little 1-2 bits around here that go in play in behind. He's not that sort of player. They haven't bought him for that. They've bought him for when teams try and squeeze them and then you press in behind.
What separates Viktor from many strikers isn't just numbers, it's efficiency. Unlike Haaland, who thrives in a system that generates endless high-quality chances, Gyökeres has built his reputation by turning half chances into elite finishes. More than 50% of his shots hit the target. That stat alone puts him among Europe's most reliable finishers. Look at his goal against Inter Milan. After Martinelli's outrageous Trivela pass, Gyökeres beat both centre-backs physically at midfield, held off contact, tried linking with Saka, benefited from a loose bounce at the edge of the box, and then buried it into the top corner. Composure, strength, ruthlessness. Against Tottenham, his first goal showed something similar, double-marked, tight space. He created separation near the edge of the area with a sharp control, set his body, and fired a brutal shot into the corner to make it 2-1. That's individual quality breaking structure. Even against Kairat, yes, weaker opposition, the pattern repeated. Received a pass between two defenders from Havertz. Held it, shifted to the edge of the box, one clean adjustment, thunderous finish, same movement, same decisiveness. And the clearest example, Leeds at the Emirates. Gyökeres instantly recognised Calafiori's intention to send him wide left with a long ball. He exploded into space like a locomotive, outpaced the defender, controlled the pass while moving at speed, drove into the box, cut inside with the outside of his boot, slipped past the covering defender, created a microscopic shooting window and buried it. That's elite striker instinct, and here's why it matters. 4 of his 15 goals in all competitions directly changed the state of the match after scoring first against Burnley, Everton, Kairat and Tottenham. That translates into 9 crucial points. 9 points that right now keep Arsenal top of the Premier League. Those aren't just goals, those are title goals. His opportunism inside the box is another clear trademark. Gyökeres thrives on deflections, rebounds, loose balls, defensive mistakes, and he finishes them with composure and technical discipline, even under heavy pressure. Unlike strikers who depend purely on perfectly orchestrated service, he creates and converts in chaotic situations. That's something Arsenal have lacked ever since the decline of their most clinical centre-forwards. Take his first goal against Sunderland. He found the gap between the two centre-backs, received smartly by opening his body to create a shooting lane, and finished with pure power, clean, decisive. Or his tap-in against Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, always in the right place. His 2 goals against Atletico Madrid, same story. But what's most impressive is his elegance around the edge of the box and inside it. What truly separates Gyökeres is his composure in front of goal. There's maturity in his shot selection. In high-pressure moments, he doesn't rush. He doesn't snatch at chances. He feeds off big moments. His game is less about volume, more about precision and execution. Look at his second goal against Tottenham. As soon as he saw Ødegaard's movement, he timed his run perfectly to beat the first centre-back and then accelerated past the right-back. Once he gained that half yard, he did the smartest thing possible. He pushed the ball forward into space to maximise the separation. In the one-on-one duel inside the box, he adjusted the ball with his left to set up the finish on his right, and then struck it violently with the inside of his foot. Vicario had no chance. In summary, Gyökeres' elite chance conversion isn't just about scoring often, it's about the variety and difficulty of the goals he scores. Both feet, rebounds, channel runs, aerial threats. He's the multi-layered finisher Arsenal have been missing. In a team that creates chances but sometimes struggles to turn control into goals, Gyökeres transforms dominance into scoreboard reality. He's the final missing piece in Arteta's evolving system. Yes, some critics say he hasn't replicated his Portugal numbers exactly in the Premier League, but that misses the point. He brings tools Arsenal simply haven't had for years: quick, aggressive shooting, positional intelligence, and a mentality built for high-stakes moments. If the structure around him functions properly, his finishing could easily be the edge that decides titles. And beyond goals, his playmaking and chance creation are massive. Gyökeres offers far more than finishing. His movement's simple, not flashy, but incredibly effective his ball carrying, and his instinctive combinations around the box make him unique. Arsenal's biggest issue under Arteta has been breaking down deep, disciplined low blocks. Too often the ball moves harmlessly around the edge of the box without incision. That's exactly where Gyökeres changes everything. He isn't a static number 9 waiting for service. He drifts wide, he moves into the inside right channel, he attacks the left half space, he drags defenders out of shape. His unpredictability forces defenders into impossible decisions: follow him and leave gaps, or hold the line and give him space to turn. And what many fans don't notice is his off-ball work. He constantly pulls defenders out of position. He creates chaos in the backline. He forces double teams. That opens space for Saka, Ødegaard, Martinelli, Rice. You might look at the raw numbers and think he's not doing enough, but that couldn't be further from the truth. So pay very close attention to this man, because Viktor Gyökeres could be the difference between Arsenal falling short again, or finally winning what they've been chasing for more than 20 years. And who knows, maybe even more than that.